The electricians worked frantically to get the system up and running. The hours ticked away. Finally, they were ready. It was well into the second day. Just as they thought they were going to make it, the lightning struck again. The bridge was still tantalizingly 20 feet short of its destination. They were ready to go again. But the weather wasn't finished with the Petronas Sky Bridge. 3 times the cranes were struck as they fought to lift the bridge into place. 3 times the control circuits burned out. A nerve-wracking 20 hours turned into a nerve-shredding 36 hours. Success was so near, yet so far. At last, the weather gave them a much-needed break. Finally, the bridge reached the top of its 170-meter hoist. The moment of truth. Had they got their calculations right? Would the bridge fit onto its massive legs? At last, something went right. The bridge was a perfect fit. The relief was overwhelming.
People were saying, well, what do we do next? And so, being the typical American, I said, let's go to Tower 1.
John Dunsford and his team raced across the bridge. The last 3 meters were just open steel with no railings. Then, a 1-meter gap across a 500-foot drop. They jumped it. The very first people to cross between the 2 towers. Petronas could now be the safest tall buildings in the world. The awe-inspiring Sky Bridge meant each tower had an escape route through the other. The grueling race between the 2 Petronas towers to be the tallest building on Earth reached its final stage. It was December 1995, with only weeks left until completion. The contest went down to the wire. From the start, John Dunsford had been behind in Tower 2, but now it was time for Bob Pratt to find out what it felt like to come second. But completing the 88th floor wasn't the end of the story. The Petronas towers still weren't as high as Chicago's Sears Tower, the tallest building in the world. There was one finishing touch before they took the crown: the pinnacles. The pinnacles were why Petronas would win the world's tallest title. The official calculation includes the height of spires. The antennas that top the Sears Tower didn't count. The pinnacles were enormous structures in themselves. 60-meter steel columns as high as another 15 stories, gently tapering to a ball on the top. They were manufactured off-site and out of the country. One came from Korea, the other from Japan. The Japanese pinnacle for Bob Pratt's Tower 1 fell behind schedule. They lost crucial days, but it didn't seem to matter, because the Malaysians had stopped the race. To create the maximum public impact, the plan was for the 2 pinnacles to go up together.
It was a conscious decision that we had, that we wanted both the towers to go up together.
But things didn't go according to plan. Determined to be first, John Dunsford didn't follow orders. Tower 2 did something sneaky.
There were very, very few conversations between the tower teams when it came to the pinnacle. I did not share what was going on with him and didn't ask him what was going on with his.
Bob Pratt in Tower 1 knew nothing of what was about to happen. John Dunsford had a secret plan to reach the top first. His team constructed the entire pinnacle inside the tower, hidden from view. No one knew what they were going to do until it was too late to stop them. Among his team, the atmosphere was electrifying.
Next time you see this, it's going to be taller than the Sears Tower. And we went back down, and about 45 minutes later it was.
Under cover of darkness, the lift went without a hitch. Tower 2 was the tallest building on Earth.
I called Bob and I left him a message. I said,
"Hey Bob, just wanted to let you know it's 3 a.m.
We're now taller than the Sears Tower. This is the tallest building in the world."
It was a clear victory for Tower 2. Tower 1 celebrated its own exterior completion a week later. The title Tallest Buildings in the World now belonged to Kuala Lumpur. They'd done it within the 6-year deadline with days to spare. It was an awesome achievement. The towers were an immediate hit.
Oh, I think the Petronas Towers are just absolutely spectacular.
Their unique, inspiring silhouette has become a symbol of the country and the whole region.
This was my hope, to come close to what the Eiffel Tower did for Paris, for these towers to do for Kuala Lumpur and Malaysia.
Exactly as the Prime Minister dreamt, they put Malaysia unforgettably on the map.
Whenever people see the building, they will think of Kuala Lumpur.
The Petronas Towers have overcome nature's most ferocious elements and a catalogue of monumental challenges. Any of them could have doomed the project. And for the people who worked on it, countless tales of rivalry, conflict, bravery, and unrelenting effort. The men and women who helped build them will never forget what they achieved here. The fears haven't gone away. Even as new buildings now challenge for Petronas's title, the dangers for super-tall structures are brought home more sharply with every passing day. The events of September the 11th called into question the safety of this kind of landmark building. They now seem as vulnerable as they are prestigious. But the Petronas Tower's future as a global icon is guaranteed. These are buildings unlike any other, inside as well as out. The risks and 6 years of struggle have paid off. The Petronas Towers have made it a unique and glorious megastructure.